You're still taking what's not yours. Greedy though you got more. Switching on me now, snitching on me now, picking up dirty attitudes. What's your future then? I'm not sure. Now you lurk on every corner, trying to make $1 from them quarter. Thought you were my friend, give an helping hand, prove to be my enemy. You can't even trust anyone. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. Waste no time on you, not behaving yourself up in a crime on you. Now there's a fine in you. Now tell me what you gonna do. Willing to help and not to want you to see. Stupid things you do, I just can't believe. Seems you don't know what you really need. Take it, remember life carries its own speed. I was there to motivate you. Seems you don't appreciate it. What is it that generate you to do the bad things to do? I really hate it. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. The world is getting dangerous. Sickness and disease are very contagious. All these bad things happening just ain't for us. God help us out, can you pray for us? I've got to protect my life. I've got to love myself. My heart cries within me. Love and respect, that's what you should be giving me. When you hate each other, you don't know what you're doing to me. If I allow this corruption, it's only ruining me. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Deacon Francis, and I'm here with King James Bible University. I'm the host of the Lordship of Israel, along with the host of Jehovah. And I'm coming from Nassau, Bahamas, KJBU, Caribbean. And before we begin this lesson, I would like to make a very important public service announcement that we declare here throughout all of our lessons, all of our teachings. King James Bible University and the House of the Lordship of Israel and also the House of Jehovah are not affiliated with no Christian group organization, neither any Black Hebrew street camp group organization. King James Bible University and the House of the Lordship of Israel stands alone. We don't share notes or compare notes with any religious groups. I repeat, KJBU is an institution that stands firmly on its own, being grounded in this truth. We serve the only true living God, our guide, Jehovah. We worship the Spirit, not a man. So, I just wanted to make that separation clear for those who might be here viewing this lesson who might be new. So today's lesson is based on self-reliance, understanding that this flesh that we live in is cursed. And this isn't no joke, brothers and sisters. And the sad thing is, many of us will have respect unto this flesh. We respect this curse that we are brought forth unto. Many of us put our trust in flesh. We speak with our tongue saying that we trust Jehovah, right? But really we don't. And this is something I'm speaking from experience, because many a time when I was tried, I failed, brothers and sisters, to be honest. Why? Because I put my trust in flesh. I made flesh my arm. And this is something I was constantly doing. I can't say I wasn't doing it, because that's a lie. I'll never stand young and teach a lie to my brothers and sisters, because we in truth. And we only speak truth here through scripture. Okay? So as soon as those tests and trials come my way, The first thing I used to do is start worrying and thinking about things that I can't even control. So instead of relying on our guide, I was totally relying on self, doing the total opposite. All right. So this is 100% self-reliance I was in, brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? So as I catch myself and I meditated on it first thing come to my mind is hey, I say, Deacon, who you trust in? You trust in the unseen source or you trust in flesh? You know what I mean? Why rely on this case? This is what I had to ask myself, brothers and sisters. These brought forth in this case. So why was relying on it? You know what I mean? If my help come from the Spirit of God, why must I worry or be afraid if the Spirit of God is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my guide and my strength, in whom I will put my trust in, my buckler, my horn, and my salvation, my high tower. So, brothers and sisters, this is a question for each and every one of us here. Why are we forsaking the Spirit to walk in flesh? We're supposed to condemn the Spirit. We're supposed to mortify the Spirit daily. You know what I mean? We don't glorify no flesh. We glorify our guide. So today's title is "Cursed be the man that put his trust in flesh and make flesh his arm." So, brothers and sisters, as we look at this divine warning, we bounce to. Let's get our Bibles up. So we're gonna bounce to the book of Jeremiah. We want to go to the book of Jeremiah first. We're on Jeremiah on chapter 17, and we're gonna pick this up at verse 5. And it reads, "Thus said the Spirit of God, cursed be the man that trusted in man and make it flesh his arm." So he make flesh his strength, and whose heart departed from the Spirit of God. So this is a foundation of a spiritual death. It describes the state of the earthen vessel, which is us, before it is broken, a state of being cursed or cut off from the life that only Jehovah gives. My brothers and sisters, this is a divine law, a spiritual stature, unchangeable as the course of the sun. It is a warning that defines the very boundary between life that withers and a life that endures. To be cursed is not to be struck by a bolt of lightning from the clear sky. It is to be in a state of exile from the fountain of life. It is to be a tree that has willingly uprooted itself from the riverside and planted itself in the desert, in the land. Such tree may have leaves for a season, but its roots drink from the poison well, and it is doomed to become dry, barren, and brittle. It is the end to be broken by its wind. So, the question is, what is this flesh that a man is forbidden to make his strength? It is the might of our own hearts and the wickedness of our own minds. It is the measure of our armies and the height of our walls. It is the weight of our gold and the influence of our powerful friends. It is the authority of kings and the applause of a multitude. So, my brothers and sisters, I just want us to look at a word. Let's go to the spiritual dictionary, and we want to look at this word measure. We see we have standard here. So we're gonna function of that word standard, right? So my brothers and sisters, we supposed to be under the standard of Jehovah, right? Correct? This is correct. But many of us compare ourselves to the standard of flesh. This is something I was doing my whole entire life. I can't get around this. This for me. I used to look upon another brother's statue, look at the appearance of another. That's what I used to do. You know what I mean? So, and this is a practice many of us do this very same day, brothers and sisters. We can't say we don't do it. Why? Because we make flesh our strength, especially these brothers who are working out in these gyms. You know, we at KJBU, we work in a spiritual gym. You know what I mean? But the physical gym, what men do all day, we go in there, we watch the countenance of another, comparing their outward appearance with another man. You know what I mean? We can't say we don't do this. This is what we do. Hey, women practice the same thing. They look on the appearance of another sister. You know what I mean? They look at what they do. Watching another sister by just being a busybody, worrying about why she wearing this or, you know, what I mean? Instead of they staying their own business, staying their own lane. So our sisters get around with this too. So they ain't exempt from nothing also. You know what I mean? So this clearly shows that we rely on self, being governed by our wicked thoughts and imagination. So I remember one time, right? This is a true story, but it's funny. I was working out, and another brother, he came on the side of me, built brother. I mean, very built, so he came on the side of me and he started jamming, right? So he started lifting like two sides of twice the size of the weight he's lifting, right? You know what happened, right? Guess what happened, brothers and sisters? Like pride kick in. Oh boy, that bad boy kick in. Look here. And pride kick in, right? Well, look here, me. I try to push, right? And I try to lift twice of what he's lifting. Boy, look here, boy, I almost damaged myself, but I almost blow my back. I almost pull a ligament. You understand why? Because practicing foolishness. You know what I mean? Because what? I feel like that brother was trying to show me up, and that brother only come to wake up. So because I was operating in 100% pride, brothers and sisters, you see what I said? That brother, he ain't come watching me. You know what I mean? But fellas do that and show up. So I just want to show a quick little clip, right? To show like, all right, look at this
and
quick
you're going to
clip.
have asthma for the rest of your life. Go to the hospital. Now, what are you doing? Mousetrap. Go to the hospital. You live in.
So just to show that, right? Yeah, that idiot, that was me. So you know what I mean? So that's me. I just was a stupid bag of rocks at the time. You know what I mean? So we can't be operating, like this. Uh, you know, so I had to understand that, that same guy who was working out. The reason why he could work out and he could do that because he was training. You know what I mean? He was able to do that because he was training. One, he put in work. This ain't something that happened overnight for him. So he put time and effort in his training also. You know what I mean? So that's why he could have lifted the way he's lifted. But I learned the hard way, brothers and sisters. Again, why? Because of what? Self-reliance. Okay, going off my own reason. Thinking I know it all. You know what I mean? I almost caused a serious back injury. And this is something, this ain't good. Something we can't be doing. You know what I mean? So it ain't good to look upon the starch of your flesh. So let's look at let's go to the book of Samuel from here, right? I just want to look at something. Let's go to the book of Samuel. So we can look at this prophet, right? We're going to Samuel because you know what I mean? So I'll put my name there. I made this mistake. I was looking on out with the parents that I'm on. You know what I mean? So it was me. I trusted in flesh. I went off my own reasoning. So let's go to the book of Samuel, like they say. Samuel chapter 1. Excuse me. Samuel chapter 16, not 1. Samuel chapter 16, 1 6. We want to pick this up at you want to pick this up at verse 6 and 7. And again, now, so I went here, right, to show like how we as a people, how we look at the stature, right? Meaning because others hold certain people at a standard, right? What we'll do, right? We'll have respect the person just because of face value. So, in other words, we'll secretly pray his flesh, you know what I mean? And I don't even know. I don't know why we do it because of this. This is foolishness. What we do. You know what I mean? So we gotta understand. This a flesh. This a fleshly corruption, and this a fleshly corrupt world. We living in a serious system, brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Because everybody is comparing themselves and comparing. Oh, this one get more money, and this what we do. So can't get around it. So First Samuel chapter 16, verse 6, and it reads, "And it came to pass when they were come, that he looked on Eliab and said, Surely the Spirit of God anointed is before is before him." So it's in the presence of him, right? So verse 7. "But the Spirit of God said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on his height, or his stature, because I have refused him. For the Spirit of God seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Spirit of God looketh on the heart." So we always got to remember that, you know. So as we look, so Samuel, he mourned for Saul, right? But the Spirit of God rejected Saul from reigning over Israel. Why? Because Saul was operating in flesh, and he went against the commandment of the Spirit of God. He was given instructions, right? But yet he went off his own reasoning. So this is the exact thing, same things what I did, what all us do this very same day. We'll be given clear instruction, right? But what we'll do, we do our own thing. And when we do it, we think it's righteous in our own eyes, in our own understanding. So we as a people, we love to be rebellious. You know what I mean? Love to be disobedient. Always walking contrary against truth. Brothers and sisters, we can't say we don't do this. This is what we do. So we have to observe the false scale of measurement. So, comparing how where we compare ourselves with another, right? When we measure our height by standing next to someone who's slouching, right? We deceiving our own selves. This is a trap of comparing dust to dirt. It's the same thing. All is dust, all is dirt. So we looking on the left and on the right, right? Like, why are we looking these ways, brothers and sisters? Instead of we looking straight and move forward on our journey, we being wavery. So this is what we do. And we can't say we don't do it. So let's go to Second Corinthians. Let's go to Second Corinthians. You want Second Corinthians, and we want to go to chapter 10. And we pick this up from verse 12 to 14. And it reads, "We dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend with those who boast themselves. But they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise." That's the same thing we do this very same day. It's what I was doing, comparing myself to another man. Back then, yeah, I want to look fly, everything like, yeah, you know, see your boy down the road, your neighbor, your brethren, you got some nice pair of tennis, what? You need some of them too. Mind you not, you didn't want them tennis to tell you same with them. So this what we do. Same thing with the cars. You know what I mean? Before I was building cars and stuff. I ever had to trade because my old man teach me to trade from youth. But every time I see someone get on a fresh car, I want to get that fresh motorbike. I want to get that. Like I always was comparing. This me. This what I was doing. So seek ye out of the book and read. So I see myself in this word. So I can tell you, the observation of self-examination from what I did. Verse 13. "However, we will not boast of things without our measure, but according to the measure of the rule which God had distributed to us, a measure to reach even unto you." Verse 14. "For we stretch not ourselves beyond our measure, as though we reach not unto you, for we are come as far as to you also in preaching and teaching the gospel, the message of Christ." So the message of the anointed way of Jehovah. So, just as Apostle Paul declares that he dares not to engage in the common practice of this world, because this is an act of looking on the left and on the right at other men and women to determine our own value. The Most High is the master builder, and to each of his servants, he gives a measure or a rule. Let's think of it like this, right? The building of a great wall. One man is given 10 cubits, right, to build. Another man given 20. The same man with 10 cubits does not boast against the man with 20 cubits, nor does he despair. His duty is to build his 10 cubits with all his might, using the plumb line of what? Truth, and the mortar of faithfulness. To stretch, to stretch beyond our measure would be like that man with 10 cubits abandoning his post and trying to work on another man's section. Because this is what he's do. And this is ignorance and disorder. So the instrument says that his work, his work among the people is not accident or an overreach of authority. It is the fulfillment of a specific measure that God assigned to him. His arrival proves that they are within the boundaries of his guide, giving labor to the one boast in being found a faithful steward of portions distributed by the master's hand. So the problem with this is when men measure themselves by other men, right? They are using a crooked ruler. Let's look at it like this. So you're using a crooked ruler to measure another crooked ruler. Why? Because dust to dirt, same thing. The standard is flawed from the beginning, brothers and sisters. This is why the wise King Solomon, he warned us, of this exact same deception. And we can see this when we go to the book of Proverbs. So let's go to the book of Proverbs. Let's get there. We've been warned all through the book. We just got to seek ye, like they say, and read. You know what I mean? Study to show ourselves approved. This is what we need to be doing. So we want Proverbs chapter 21, and we pick this up at verse 2. And it reads, every way of a man is right. So every way of a man is righteous in his own eyes, in his own understanding. But, however, the Spirit of God pondereth the hearts. So you got to remember this. So, my brothers and sisters, as it is written, right? We have to look at the dangerous truth about the human condition. How we rely on self more than spirit. This is the divine warning against the blindness of self-justification. Okay, let's imagine us trying to draw a straight line, right? Without a ruler. Thinking our vision is more straighter than the actual ruler. So, when we then draw what we believe is a perfect line, and to our own understanding, it appears to be straight. It appears to be true. But the master builder comes with a perfect unbinding rule, and the crookedness of our line, the crookedness of our line, right? Our understanding it instantly reveals. Instantly revealed. Why? Because we trust in flesh. That's why understanding, that's why, this is why the wise king declared this, That's why he say every way of a man is right in his own eye. So, this means that we are expert at convincing ourselves that our actions are justified. This is pure madness, brothers and sisters, because this is pure madness, but this is what we do. So we look at that angry man, right? So I'll put my name there. So the angry man, yeah, that's D'Angelo, believes his rage is righteous. So that greedy man, that's me again, believes my hoarding is simple prudence. So we collect these wicked thoughts and imaginations every single day, this green evil seed we just have within us, right? And we think that we have an understanding. We think that this is wise, but it's not. Okay? The liar, that's me again, believes our falsehood are necessary. So our pride and our desires are like the wrapped mirror that makes our crooked ways appear straight. However, as we look at the second half of this verse, it reveals an absolute standard. It said, but, however, The Spirit of God pondered the heart. The Most High is not fooled by the outward appearance of our straight line. He does not look at the action alone. He ponders, he weighs upon the divine scales of the heart from which the action came. He examines the secret chamber of the soul to find the true motive. Was the gift given to the praise of men or out of true compassion? That's a question. Was the word spoken to help or to manipulate? That's another question. His judge, he judges the root of the tree, not just the fruit it appears to bear. Come on, brothers and sisters. That's why we got to look at the eye of a man, a deceitful judge. All right. So our heart is a master of excuses, and our own eyes are its willing servants. We are naturally based. We are naturally based in our own favor. For that reason, we cannot be true judge of our own righteousness. You can't do this, brothers and sisters. Yeah, let's go to the book of Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs. So we want Proverbs chapter 16. We pick this up in verse 2. And it reads, always a man, male or female, are clean. So we always think our ways are what? Clean, pure, righteous, and what? In our own eyes. We ain't never think we wrong. We always think it right. So, however, the Spirit of God, He weighs the Spirit. So He examines the Spirit. Okay? He looks within. That's what the Most High does. So, what's recorded here manifests a deep and subduing truth about the manner of flesh against the doctrine and teachings of the Most High. It represents the contrast between the corruption of carnal justification and the authority of the supreme justice. It presents two opposing courtrooms, the courtroom of flesh and the courtroom of the only one that's righteous, and that's Jehovah. All the ways of a man are clean in his eyes in the courtroom itself. We are both the defendant and the judge. Here, every action can be justified. The man who speaks a harsh word convinces himself it was necessary honesty. The man who takes what is not his tells himself he was only taking what he deserved. We are masters of self-deception, able to polish our deeds until they shine in our own sight. Until they shine in our own sight. We declare ourselves clean, innocent of any wrongdoing. Because what? Because our pride and desire will not allow us to see the stains in our own eyes. But the Spirit of God weighs the Spirit. In the courtroom of the supreme authority, the Most High bring forth a divine scale. He does not judge the movement of the flesh by, but He examines the desire that made the flesh move. He weighs the Spirit. He places our hearts, our motive, secret intent upon the scales. He asks not, what did we do? But why did we do it? Was the labor done in love or in flattery? That's a question. Was the prayer spoken to be seen as flesh? That's another question. The Spirit of God scale is so perfect that it can measure the weight of a thought, the gravity of a hidden desire. While we are being declared, while we are busy declaring ourselves clean, pure, He is weighing the Spirit to see if it is heavy with pride or light with humility. Because our guide looks upon within. So you always got to keep that in mind. So let's go back to Samuel. Let's go back to the book of Samuel. Because we're going to read the scripture once more again. Going to the book of Samuel. You want Samuel chapter 1. We going back at, Samuel, 1 Samuel, sorry. chapter 16. And we're going back to verse 7. We're going back to verse 7. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7. For the Spirit of God see it not as man see it. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Spirit of God looketh on the heart. So just to piggyback what I said earlier with Samuel, he watched the stature of Eliab, right? Looking on the outward appearance, just as many of us do today. We show respect to person because of stature, because of reputation, and riches. All because having respect to person, we commit what? We commit our consent and think nothing of it. Like we think this so cool. This is what we do. Because why? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this is a curse. Curse be the man that put his trust in flesh. From here, let's go to the book of Sirach. You got to be careful of these things, brothers and sisters. You go into the book of Ecclesiasticus, the some known Sirach. We want chapter 3, and we're going to pick this up at verse 24. And it reads, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion. That's me. Playing time I go around, making decisions, and thinking, yeah, that I may want to reason it. Guess what happened? I deceived my own self. No one deceived me but me. And an evil suspicion had overthrown their judgment. See that? That's me. It's happened to me like clockwork. Like I say, I ain't here to tell no lie. You know what I mean? I love and respect my guy. And I always willing to go to the place of the slaughter. Always willing to be a vessel who come to give his body as a living sacrifice unto Jehovah. So when we go to these feast days and you see me go up, I don't watch nobody. I look at me. I deal with Jehovah at all times. So we must understand that the creator judgment is of the inner man. The Most High is not concerned with the performance we show to the world. He ain't concerned with that. His gaze pass through flesh and bone, through words and deeds, and pierces directly to the intention, the imagination, and the secret will of the soul. That's where he passed there. The master surgeon. From here, let's go to the book of Sirach. So you always got to remember these things, brothers and sisters. Be still in Sirach over. Okay, we go to Sirach over here. All right, brothers and sisters, let's do it. Sirach, chapter 11, and we want verse 20 and 21. So we're going to grab that there first, and then we come over here, grab this. There you go. Okay. Sirach, chapter 11, verse 20 and 21. Be steadfast in thy covenant. So be steadfast in the agreement. The agreement we make with Jehovah. Let's don't break that place. Let's be firmly rooted in that. All right? And be conversant. So this conversing therein, so we need the what? Let's be experienced and wax all in thy works. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Creator and abide in thy labor. All right? So that's what we need to do, have experience in our labor. We labor for those who seek truth. We don't labor for ourselves. So anyone here viewing this teaching right now, just know we labor for you. All right? For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Creator on the sudden to make a poor man rich. So, brothers and sisters, we wanna just piggyback on that same agreement, right? So we must stand firm in this agreement. You know what I mean? Because we gotta understand a covenant. A covenant is a binding contract. You know, with the Creator. Just how many of us here in the body, we get baptized, right? So this covenant, we can't break this covenant. We ain't supposed to breach this. But hey, many of us still do it, like Ella say. Plenty is going on wet, come up wet. This Israel. It's the things we do. Can't get around it. So back to the teaching. A covenant is a binding contract with the Creator, right? To be steadfast and to remain unmovable in our obedience to His laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Regardless of our outward circumstances, right? So we live within the truth to be conversant, right? Means to make the laws of the Most High our daily practice, being acquainted with His truth, making His kingdom our resting place. Because we made this agreement. It is not only to keep on the day of rest. Not only on the Sabbath day, every day we tell this ground. So don't think, you just on Sabbath, you all come and teach it. No, no, no. We tell this ground and we labor every day, all right? It is the air we breathe and the language we speak. Lifelong dedication, true spiritual labor has no retirement. So it's no days off. We had pastors say, I'm at rest when I dead. Pastors say he rest when he dead. And he mean that. Look in the eyes, see if he joking. We are to grow old doing the work of righteousness. We shouldn't envy the wicked. We can't let our understanding be misled by those who break the laws, yet seem to gain wealth and power. Their success is a shadow that vanishes when the sun goes down. Why are we always trusting in flesh? This flesh profits us nothing. And it's because and it's always looking for a quick fix. It has an appetite for sudden elevation. Why? Because the eye sees what the eyes wants. We don't even trust in our guide enough to be patient and to wait until he is ready to improve our lives, brothers and sisters. We don't wait. We don't trust, man. Because if we do what we've been doing other things, it will show in our actions. We wait on Jehovah. Okay? We must always remember the Creator does not operate on human timeline. He don't operate on our timeline. Who you is to rush you over? Who I is. Okay? He can overturn a man's poverty or low estate in a blink of an eye. Just like that. Boom. Imagine a young tree, right? Planted in a windy field. If it keeps pulling up its root to find better soil, it will die. To be steadfast is to sink our roots deep into a covenant, to have this agreement and stay there. Be grounded right there. The world is full of people who cheat, who lie, and get rich quickly. So why marvel at them? You know where they resting place is, brothers and sisters. Why be watching them? We separated anyway. If their wealth is built on a foundation of sand, right? Our duty is to abide in our labor, to keep doing what is right, even when we feel poor or forgotten. The Creator sees our quiet obedience. He know we quiet and he see. You think he can see us? When the appointed time comes, he can change our condition instantly, just like that. So relax, be steadfast. That's all it is, brothers and sisters. So, it's a light thing for him, right? To lift us up, brothers and sisters. Let's just remember that. We must trust our guide. Our only job is to be standing at our post, and be humble and waiting on the next step. Why? Because he direct our path. Jehovah is the one that direct our path, brothers and sisters. This we gotta remember about it. We ain't got no problem. We create the problem. From here, let's go back to the book of Proverbs, right? Only us get the problem, man, brothers and sisters. We get it. Let's go to Proverbs. You go on to Proverbs chapter 16, but we can pick this up at verse 9. go on Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9, and it reads, a man's heart deviseth his ways, his way. But, however, the Spirit of God directed his path. See that? As we look at two great forces, right, that shape a life, the will of a man and the sovereignty of the Most High. A man's heart divides his way. It is the nature of a man to plan. The heart, the decision of our mind, of our will, our desires, is a tireless architect. It draws maps of the future, laying out the roads to wealth, to honor, to peace. We devise, we plan our way, plotting out our course from our youth to our old age, saying, I will go here, or I will do this, I will become this, or I'll become that. This is the works of the flesh, brothers and sisters. So we trust in flesh that much that we know the days to come. Be real, be serious. So one answer is clear with it. We can determine what's going on it. Because as far as I'm concerned, Christ come like a thief in the night. You know, that's guaranteed. You understand what I'm saying? So you sitting there saying, oh, how you could be the next 5 years or next 6 years. What you planning, bro? What you planning, sis? Like, come on, man. Let's get real. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So this is a power of human intention. The freedom to guide our course, right? But the Spirit of God directed his path. So, brothers and sisters, this is a divine truth, right? That humbles all human plans. While a man may draw a map, it is the Spirit of God who governs the journey. He is the master of the road itself. A man may plan a walk, a straight path, but the Spirit of God may place an obstacle in the presence of him, forcing him to turn. He may devise a journey, right, to the east, but the Spirit of God may may send him, may send a wind that guides him to the west, that guides his ship to the west, right? The steps are individual movements of our lives. We choose the destination of our hearts, right? But the Creator determines the footing and the direction of every single step we take. This is not to mock the plans of men, but to teach that our lives unfold within a will for a greater than our own. The plans of the heart are many, but the counsel of the Spirit of God shall stand. So, as we look at man's plan, is a well of endless schemes and desires. But these are like leaves in the wind compared to the unshakable decree of the Creator. From here, you'll go to Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, we are here. We want chapter 19. Proverbs 1, chapter 19. Okay. And we want to pick this up at verse 21. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21, and it reads, there are many devices in a man's heart. So there's many devices without desire. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Spirit of God that shall stand. See what I'm saying? So my brothers and sisters, our plans, right, must be formed from the counsel of the Spirit of God, our guide. Must be from the counsel of the Spirit of God, our guide, and not from the schemes and plots of our thoughts. Because our thoughts are deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, like I said earlier. And only Jehovah can know it. It is this. And this is why we don't need to be guided by our flesh. Because it's based upon the things of this world. From here, let's go to the book of Jeremiah. We need to be guided by our own flesh, man. Christ be the mind, to trust the flesh, man. So we want Jeremiah. We're in the chapter 10. We're going to pick this up at verse 23. And it reads, "Oh, Spirit of God, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his path, his steps." Why? That's why Jehovah is our guide. The Father sent us a guide to guide our steps. Because he know this flesh, guys. He know this flesh and blood could never inherit the kingdom of God. Neither the lifestyle of it. Like we got to keep that in mind. So we are not the master of our own journey, brothers and sisters. Because the way of a male or a female is not in himself. Imagine, right? Imagine us on a boat, right? So we take out our GPS, right? We punch in our destination. We park our supplies. We got sandwiches. We got peanuts. We got potato chips. Man, we got drinks. You know what I mean? We get water. We get tea. We get coffee. So we got everything ready, lock and load, and ready to go, right? But guess what? Do we control the sea? That's the question. Do we control the winds? Do we control the currents? Unseen force. Come on. No, we don't. The Most High control those things. That trip that we plan, that destination we made, is going to be based upon if He wants us to get there or not. Because we don't even know if we can make it there, first of all. But yet we want to be busybody and plan things. Like bees you over. We better start playing, mate. That's all I can say. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 24. "Oh, Spirit of God, correct me." Yes. Correct me for my wicked thoughts, imagination. For me thinking I could jump on that boat and I say I go in the hundreds. When I look, you send me the Bimini. Correct me. But with judgment. With what? Your doctrine and teaching. Okay? Not with thine anger. That's thou bring me to nothing. So through his word, this refines us, brothers and sisters. This is what we need. This right here. So, brethren, this is the petition and a request that we should be making unto the Spirit of God. It is not in man that walks to direct his step. So this must become our prayer also. So Jeremiah chapter 10, 23 and 24 must become our prayer. So what are we learning here? That's the question. We are learning that no male and female can safely guard themselves. We must ask the Most High to deal with us, to correct us, and straighten what is out of order in us. These same wicked thoughts and imaginations. This is why this word cleanses us. Okay? Because none of us should be so proud to think we are above correction. That's what we can't be doing. But at the same time, we must petition him that it be not his anger, that we be not consumed. Because what are we seeking? Is restoration and not destruction. Providing the male or female be left his own to her own consent, we will surely go astray. Him or her, we will surely go astray. If the Most High deals with us outside of mercy, we will surely be brought to naught. We must invite him to step in and deal with us in doctrines, in doctrine, in instruction, and in truth, and not condemnation. This correction is a blessing and not a curse, because his chastisement refines us, purifies the gold, and removes the dross from the silver. Now, we know that fire can refine, but we also know that fire can consume, and we can stand before the wrath of the Most High. Excuse me. And who can stand in front of the wrath of the Most High? That's the question, brothers and sisters. Who can do it? If he should deal with us in anger, all flesh would fail before all flesh will fail before him. So this must be our prayer. Father, guide us and not ourselves. Father, correct us. but with doctrine and teachings and instructions. Father, deal with us in mercy, because our own will leads unto death, but your guidance leads unto everlasting life. Because flesh is any power that is brought forth of this dust and will one day return to dust. To make flesh our strength is to build entire house of hope upon the shifting foundation. It is to believe that our safety, our victory, and our deliverance comes from the word of man. The man who does this has a heart that has already departed from the Spirit of God. He has turned his back on the unmovable rock to lean upon a bruised reed. He has forsaken the living spring to dig for himself a broken cistern. Therefore, the curse is not a punishment afflicted upon him, but the natural and unavoidable consequence is his choice. His soul will inhabit a dry place, and he will not see good when it comes. For he has chosen to trust that which has not life in it. Choose to trust his curse, his flesh. The path of a man is ordered and governed by the Most High. The actual journey of a man's life, his goings, are established by the Creator. For that reason, true wisdom is not in the perfecting our own plans, but in submitting our steps to his guidance. So from here, let's go to the book of Psalms. You want to go to the book of Psalms. You want Psalms chapter 37. Psalms chapter 37. I will pick this up at verse 23. And it reads, the steps of a good man, so the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Spirit of God. He that delighted in his way. The man whose heart is set towards the Most High. It speaks not of a man who is perfect and without sin, but a man, a good man, a righteous man, one who is upright in his intent, who trusted in the Creator, and who seeks to walk in the statutes of righteousness. The steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Spirit of God. This is a foundation of his peace. His life is not a series of accidents. His journey is not a path. He stumbles upon the dark, each single step, every turn in the road, every stone he sets his foot upon is ordered. This means it is established, made firm, and set in its proper place by the hand of the Creator. Himself, as a master builder, lays stone in a sure foundation. So the Spirit of God establishes the goings of his servants. The man may not see the whole path, but he can be certain that the very ground beneath his feet, his desire, has been prepared for him by a will that cannot fail. And he delighted in his way. Herein lies the beautiful and dual truth. First, the Spirit of God himself delighted in the path of the righteous man. He looks upon the journey he has ordered for his servant and takes pleasure in it. The obedience and trust of this righteous man are a sweet savor to the Most High. Second, a good man himself delighted in his way, because he knows his steps are ordered by a wise and loving guide. He finds joy in the journey. He does not complain that the path each step or The valley is dark, for he trusts the one who laid the road. He finds pleasure not in the ease of the path, but in the faithfulness of the one who directs it. This is the joy of a soul that walks in a perfect submission and trust the Spirit of God. True submission. We want to stay in the book of Psalms, but we want Psalms, we want chapter 119. Psalms chapter 119, and we pick this up at 133. Psalms chapter 119, 133, and it reads, Order my steps in thy word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me. Brothers and sisters, the only way Jehovah can guide us on the path of righteousness is if we are willing vessels who will submit unto his way. Meaning, we must be broken and under full submission, total surrender. That's the only way we can yield unto his word and be directed in his way. So brothers and sisters, through breaking the chain of self-governance, it allows the word to quicken us. Now these acts of sins become easier for us to observe and to fight against. Because now, with total surrender, we then are under a self-examination daily. The word has dominion, now not the flesh. But if we choose to rely on our own strength, which is making flesh our arm, then our will, our desires will be departed from God. This is a heart that is not being renewed by the word. A heart that has no knowledge of God in it. So from here, we want to go to the book of Hosea. We want to go in the book of Hosea. We want Hosea chapter 4. And we pick this up at verse 1. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1, and it reads, Hear the word of the Spirit of God, ye children of Israel. For the Spirit of God had controversy with the inhabitants of the land, with the people, because there's no truth, no mercy, no knowledge of God in the people. This is us. This departure is turning away from the Spirit of God to serve the flesh, a carnal refusal and a spiritual consequence. It is the choice between life and the spirit and death in the flesh. From here, let's go back to the book of Psalms. And we want to take this to Psalms. We want chapter 81 now. Psalms chapter 81. We're going to pick this up at, there's 81. Okay. Psalms chapter 81. We're going to pick this up from 10 to 13. And it reads, I am the Spirit of God, thy guide, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. So out of the land of bondage. Upon thy mouth, open thy mouth wide, and I will fix it. Yahweh's voice reminds us of his infinite power to deliver us from the house of bondage. This carnal mindset, this flesh, it is our guiding spirit. It brings us out of that state, of that destruction, so we can begin to cross over. So, as we look at the command, open thy mouth wide, is a call of our voluntary participation. It is our job to desire the spiritual food and to deliver the message, to be receptive. The promise, and I will fill it, is Jehovah's agreement to provide the nourishment He is the one who fills our spiritual jar. He fills our mouth with his word, his wisdom, and knowledge, the bread from heaven, the heavenly manna, that he rains down daily. Verse 11. But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would not of me. So I gave them up unto their own hearts, lusts, to their own desires, lusts, and they walked in their own concept. This is us 100%, brothers and sisters. This is a direct consequence of our refusal. When we as a people reject his word, we reject him. So for this cause, God shall send us strong delusions, that we shall believe a lie. And what is that lie? The lie is this flesh, this curse that we live in. These fleshy desires, making flesh our arm, trusting in flesh. This that lie right there. Now tell me I lie. Verse 13. Oh, that my people are hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. Jehovah don't take pleasure in seeing us walk in our own concept, which leads us unto death. His desire is that we hearken, that we open up our mouth and glorify him, not ourselves, and be filled with his word and walk in his way, which is to live according to the Spirit, to obey the covenant, and to successfully cross over into everlasting life. So from here, let's go to chapter 49. We're going to stay in the same book. Chapter 49. Stay in Psalms. You want chapter 149, 149. Psalms chapter 149, and we'll pick this up. You want verse 4 down to verse 6. 149, verse 4 on to verse 6. And it reads, For the Spirit of God taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. The Most High is not impressed with outward might. He is pleased with a humble people who he covers with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. The elect ones don't wait to praise him publicly. They glory, the high put on, the breaks out of the strong in the secret chambers. So they glory him and high. They glory the Most High. All right? So that's what the elect ones do. They don't do it in secret, but they don't go out there doing it for no likes on these social medias. Like these people, they want to go on video things just for likes and all of that. No, 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 no. We do this in secret for him. All right? And he reward us openly. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. There's no vanity in their mouth. There's no murmuring in their mouth, but an exalted praise. So the people that the Spirit of God beautified are the same ones he uses to execute judgment. These same elect ones. So let's look at the source of true power. It's not from many, but from one. Human wisdom counts soldiers, gather chariots, and measures the strength of an army by its size. But the law of heaven operates by a different accounting. The Creator does not require a multitude to achieve his will. His power is made most clear when the few overcome the many, and the weak confound the strong. Victory is not a thing given from the throne of heaven, not earned by the might of men. So that no flesh can glory in his presence and say, My own hand had saved me, because the world teaches that safety is found in numbers, in large armies, and in crowded assemblies. But the spiritual law is opposite. The Most High does not count heads before he delivers to the human eye. A giant looks unbeatable, and a small child with a sling looks helpless. But when the singular power of the Creator is present, the math of the world fails. One man, one man with the Spirit can chase 1,000, because true power is not divided among the crowd. It is flowed, it flows from the one who created the crowd. So here, let's go to the book of Joshua. I'm going to take this to the book of Joshua. Joshua chapter 23. Joshua chapter 23, and we're going to pick this up in verse 10. And I read, one man of you shall chase 1,000. For the Spirit of God, your guide, he it is that fighteth for you, as he had promised you. This is not a promise of earthly warfare, but a revelation of a spiritual law. It is the secret of the kingdom, the mathematics of the Most High, which confounds the wisdom of the world. One man of you shall chase 1,000. By the accounting of man, this is madness. One sword against 1,000 is fool's errand. One voice against 1,000 is silence. One will against 1,000 is surrendered. The world looks at the numbers and sees only impossible odds. It tells the one to flee, to hide, to despair. But the man who walks in the covenant, in that agreement, is not counted as one. For the Spirit of God, our guide, he it is that fighteth for us. Herein lies the mystery. The man does not fight alone. His feet may run upon the earth, but the ground trembles from the step that is not his own. His hand may hold the sword, but the terror that seizes the enemy's heart comes from the unseen warrior. The one man is merely a vessel, the invisible instrument through which an invisible power moves. When the creator of heavens and the earth enters the battle, the odds are overturned. The equation is no longer 1 against 1,000. It is 1 plus the infinite against 1,000. The 1,000 in that moment become as nothing, a shaft before the wind that blows right away. The man's role is not to generate the power, but simply to be the willing conduit for it, to stand, to obey, and to chase as commanded, as he had promised him. This power is not a thing to be begged for in a moment of panic. It is a covenant. It is a covenant right. It is the fulfillment of a sacred oath between the eternal King and his chosen people. The promise was given so that our trust would not be in the strength of our own arm, our sharpness, our own sword, but in the faithfulness of him who cannot lie. For that reason, when the trials of our life appear as 1,000, and we see ourselves as but one voice of truth against 1,000 lies, one ark of faith against 1,000 doubts, one moment of courage against 1,000 fears. Remember this law. We are not the one who fights. Our part is to stand in the promise. He himself is the fighter. He himself is that fighter for us, brothers and sisters. Always remember that. The strength of a man is temporary and unreliable. The strength of a young man is a fleeting gift, and the power of a king's army is but a wall of sand against the tide of time. All power that is brought forth of flesh will faint, grow weary, and ultimately fail. To trust in it for safety is to lean on a breaking staff. True endurance strength is not a position of a man, but a gift that flows from the Creator to those who wait upon Him. It is a strength that does not decay, but is renewed day by day, for its source is eternal. From here, let's go back in the book of Psalms. Psalms, I want to pick this up, chapter 33. And we can pick this up at verse 16 and 17. We want verse 16 and 17. Psalms 33, verse 16 and 17, and it reads, "There is no king saved by the multitude of an host." So you ain't saved by the army. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. An horse is a vain thing for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. It don't matter how big your army is. It don't matter how strong your warriors is. Or it don't matter how mighty your war horse is. They are nothing that would save you. Only the Most High. Only the Most High can save you. Nothing else. Why? Ain't no resources you could use but could save you. All them vain without the Most High. Every last one. From here, let's go to the book of Maccabees. First Maccabees. So always remember, brothers and sisters, we ain't trusting in our own strength. Okay. We want to pick up First Maccabees, chapter 3. First Maccabees, chapter 3. First Maccabees, chapter 3. And we want verses 19 to 22. And it reads, "For the victory of the battle standeth not in the multitude of an army, but strength cometh from heaven. They come against you in much pride and iniquity to destroy you. But our wives and children and our wives and children to spoil us. But we fight our lives and our laws. Wherefore, for that reason, the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be ye not afraid of them." Brothers and sisters, some may trust in chariots and some may trust in horses, but we will remain in the way of the Spirit of God, our guide. They are brought forth down to fall. They are brought down to, and fallen. But we are risen and stand upright. Only the Spirit of God let the King hear us when we call. Human perfection is not within divine wisdom. Here, let's go to the Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, and we want verse 6. Wisdom of Solomon 9:6, and it reads, "For though a man be never so perfect among the children of men, yet if providing thy wisdom be not with him, he shall be nothing regarded." A male or a female can have the best reputation on earth. They can be strong. They can be smooth in speech. They can appear to be spotless with no blemish. But the Most High, but to the Most High, they are nothing regarded to him. Outwardly, perfection has no weight in the presence of the throne. The pride of flesh is folly. You want to go to Sirach. Going back to Ecclesiasticus, to some known Sirach. We want chapter 10, and we want this from verse 9. And we can take this from verse 9 straight to verse 14. Sirach chapter 10, we want verse 9 straight to verse 14. And it reads, "Why is the earth and ashes proud? Why? Why be proud? There's not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such a one sitteth his own soul to save, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. The physician cut it off along his ears." You always do that. "And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die." Tell you that. The whole life of his pride, like a disease, is the end. The Most High cut it off by sending him back to the dust and the ashes whence he come from. For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms. This prideful man, after he returns to the dust and the ashes, the only thing he good, the only thing he good for now is creeping things, beasts, worms. Now, we know. Now, we do. Now, do we see why it doesn't make sense to be prideful? We see now, right, brothers and sisters? The beginning of pride is when one departed from God and his heart is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that had it shall pour out abomination. And for that reason, the Creator brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. The Creator had cast down the thrones of the proud princes and sat upon the meek in their stead. My brothers and sisters, pride only brings forth that lewdness in the end. It will bring us torment, because the Creator had plucked up the roots of the proud nations and plucked and planted the lowly in their place. The position of men are easily overturned. Let's go in Sirach. Back in Sirach again, but we want chapter 11. Sirach chapter 11, and we want verse 5. Sirach chapter 11, we want verse 5 and 6. And it reads, "Many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of hath worn the crown. Many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into others' man's hand. They are no longer in control, but are subjected to the meek, because the Most High pulls them down to the ground and raises the forgotten to the crown, proving that pride and stature are nothing when we reverse them. My brothers and sisters, let no man be thy foundation. To trust in man is to build your house upon the sand. He said that earlier. A man's promise is but vapor. It's nothing. And his counsel is subject to the change of the winds of his own heart. Lean not your souls, wait upon another man, for he, like you, is a traveler in the wilderness, as it is written in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. Let's go there real quick. We're on 2 Kings. So we want 2 Kings 18. What happened here? 2 Kings. Oh, you want chapter 18? Oh, okay. Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. 2 Kings, chapter 18, and we want verse 21. And it reads, Now, remember, thou trusted upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which, providing the man lean, it will go into his hands and pierce it. So is king of sin of the house of bondage unto all that trusted on him. Brothers and sisters, why would we ever trust in an earthly ruler? Never trust in the servant of flesh. We got to remember the way in him is not right. There's no help there. So why we can trust in that? Don't make no sense to trust in that. See ya. That's what we need to do. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Real quick, brothers and sisters. You want Isaiah chapter 2? Isaiah chapter 2. And we can pick this up. Chapter 2, we want verse 22. And it reads, Cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, for when he to be counted of. So, brothers and sisters, we got to stop leaning on flesh. Stop being desirable for flesh. Stop exalting flesh as if it's our hope. This is strong advice to stop depending on flesh. Stop idolatry. Stop making flesh our arm. Once we truly, right, see what flesh about, this temporal man, this dust, this dirt, you know what I mean? You can't glorify this. You need to glorify Jehovah. You know what I mean? So we got to cease from worshiping this flesh, man. We have to. Rely not on the arm of flesh. The arm of flesh is every power that is not of the Creator. Our own strength, the might of our armies, the security of riches, or the wickedness of our mind. These things are not covering, are the covering of clay, and the weapon, dust. They may serve for a moment in the sun, but they will shatter in the day of spiritual trial. The only arm that cannot be broken is the everlasting arm of the Most High. That's the only arm cannot be broken, brothers and sisters. Everything else is nothing. From here, let's go to 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles, we want chapter 32. Chapter 32, we can pick this up at verse 7 and 8. And it reads, be strong and courageous. Be not afraid, nor dismayed. For the king of Assyria, nor for all the multitude that is with him. For there be more with us than with him. With him is an arm of flesh. See that? Arm of flesh with him. But, however, with us is the Spirit of God, our guide, to help us and to fight our battle. That's why we can't trust in this flesh. We got to trust in our guide. So, we see that the king Hezekiah spoke to the people, telling them, this king of Assyria, right? Strength is the strength of flesh. He has a great army. He has many weapons and many soldiers, but they are limited to carnality and mortality. But our strength comes from who? Jehovah, the only one with no limits. Once we trust in him, our mind shifts from trusting in flesh to trusting in our rock. God, the direction of our heart. The state of our heart determines the state of our life. A heart that departed from the Spirit of God is one that has turned away from the living spring to dig for itself a broken cistern. It seeks the life where there is no water. The first step toward the first step. This is the first step towards the curse. It is not the outward act, but it's inward turning. For that reason, guard our hearts. We need to guard our hearts with all diligence. For out of it flows the issues of life. From here, let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah, we go on chapter 2. Chapter 2, and we go on verse 13. And it reads, For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out broken cistern that can hold no knowledge. My brothers and sisters, the first evil is pride. The first evil is pride, the beginning to separate from the Spirit of God. The second evil is trusting in flesh, a broken reed that can't hold no knowledge. From here, let's go to the law. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. You want Deuteronomy chapter 11. Deuteronomy chapter 11, we pick this up at verse 16. And it reads, Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. Like brothers and sisters, we need to guide ourselves, stay on watch over our mind and spirit, that our heart desires nothing wrong. Things that pride does not set a trap in our minds to forsake the Most High and look towards flesh is our strength. You don't need to do these things, brothers and sisters. You need to be rooted and grounded in this truth. So understanding the source of all true blessing. The man who trusted in flesh is spiritually cursed, meaning he is cut off from the source of life. He becomes like a tree with no water, living in a parched land, unable to see good when it comes. He is barren because he has disconnected himself from the root of all wisdom given. True wisdom is only given by the Creator. The strength of the strength and the endure comes from drawing near unto him, who is the fountain of living waters. So brothers and sisters, As we come to the closing of this teaching, right, I like to close it out in the book of Sirach. Let's go to the book of Sirach. Over here. Go on Sirach, on chapter 34. Chapter 34, and we want verses 15. One from verse 15 to 17. And it reads, wisdom is given is the soul of him that desired the Creator, to whom doeth he look, and who is his strength? That's the question. For the eyes of the Creator are upon them that promise him. He is their mighty protection and strong state, and a defense from heat, and a cover from the sun at noon, and a preservation from the stumbling, and an help from falling. He rises up the soul and enlightens the understanding. He gives health, life, and wisdom. So you always got to remember that, brothers and sisters. Let's don't trust in this flesh, because this flesh is no good. So, brothers and sisters, this entire teaching showed, and precept showed us one simple truth. When the earth and ashes get proud, they stop. They stop trusting in the fountain of living waters and start leaning on the broken reeds and the arm of flesh. But everyone that desires the Creator and cleaves to his doctrine and teachings lives under his understanding and lives in his might. Salvation lives in his might and salvation. No empire or system can break, brothers and sisters. This teaching exposed the lie. Stop thinking more of flesh than the Most High. Stop being expressed by numbers, chariots, money, systems, or our own wisdom. All of that is nothing but proud earth and ashes. Leaning on flesh, or as those that desire the Creator. Let's drink from the fountain. Let's drink from the fountain of life, from the fountain of living waters, under his government and his mighty salvation. So, this has been Deacon Francis, and I'm coming from Nassau, Bahamas, and I'm at King James Bible University, Caribbean. And I would like to say to each and every one of you, I want to thank you for coming out once again. Until we meet again, until we eat again, I just want to say, Shalom.
Nothing more. Nothing more. I am the clay, you are the potter. Lord, you said acknowledge it, call it by its name. Only you, oh Lord, only you. Lord, you said acknowledge it, call it by its name. So I opened up my jar tonight and could not hide my shame. I looked beyond the label, beyond the words I wore, and saw the things I covered up were waiting at the door. I have seen the beauty fading from the faces of men. I have watched the strong grow weak and return to dust again. Before I had a name, I had a grave. The ground already knew me before I was made. No more painted language, no more softened scars. You told me face the contents that are living in my jar. Here is nothing but vanity, a vapor in the wind, a moving veil, a painted
infinite lie, a marketplace of sin. Pride is a lie that the vessel starts to tell when it forgets it was hollow before the spirit fell. All I want is life with you, oh Lord. Nothing less, nothing more. Looking in my jar and the truth is making me weep. Fill me with you, fill me with you, Lord. I cannot hide what your light hath made me see. I surrender all of me, oh Lord. I surrender all of me. I saw adultery.